My fiancé randomly ended our relationship. Is this abuse? Toronto, Ontario. I'm not sure if this is the right place for this. Please forgive the long post. My 28M fiancé, 28F, has always been very controlling. She gets upset when I don't do things exactly right and often contradicts herself. She wants me to go out and be more social but will call and yell at me when I do. She wants me off my phone but sits there on hers. She wants me to go to the gym but complains when I'm there too long. Honestly, I've been pretty love-struck, so I didn't really pick up on these things until everything fell apart. She has a bit of a drinking problem, not that she drinks constantly, but when she does, she doesn't know her limit. With wedding planning and my busy work schedule to pay for the wedding, she tends to go out on weekends with her girlfriend since I'm home late anyway. She enjoys it, so I figured she deserved to unwind after a busy week. We typically did lunches and overnight trips when my schedule allowed it. And when I was off in the evenings, we made dinner together to connect. She's nitpicked before, but I wrote it off as just part of her personality and always adjusted. For example, she didn't want me running the washer/dryer so much, so I went from twice to once a week. I work 2 jobs, and one is in construction, so my clothes get dirty fast. She thought I had too many clothes even though we each have the same storage space, so I donated the one she didn't like. She didn't like when I cooked late coming home from my second job, event staff, so I would pick something up on the way home. I felt like this was regular couple stuff. All in all, she'd been excited about the wedding and our new apartment, so I thought everything was good. The breakup, a few weeks ago, she came home hammered, which was nothing new, but this time she was outright mean. I wrote it off as her being drunk. Sometimes she playfully teases me when she's drinking, but when she sobered up, she was still really mean. Her controlling attitude escalated until she was pretty much unbearable, and then she told me she deserved better, that she wanted to start over, and that I needed to leave. She started listing all these strange faults, that I don't get along with her friends, who I've never met because they don't live in our country, that I don't make an effort with her family, I'm very close to her brother, we game often together, and we have dinner with her parents once a month, that I'm too dependent on her. I'll admit I do tend to put her first a lot, but I kind of thought that was normal. Then she basically told me to leave. I gave her some space and stayed at my brother's for a few nights. I asked him how he thought I should fix this, and that's when he pointed out that she might actually be abusive, and maybe this was a good thing. I don't know. She's still the love of my life, and I can't wrap my head around all this. After a few nights, I went back because I needed more clothes but also because I wanted to see if we could talk things out. She flat out refused and said her friends all agreed with her. Now, she's downright hostile. She's nice every so often when she wants something, but otherwise she's short, cold, and often annoyed. She basically said we're done, that she's keeping the apartment, and I need to figure it out. Then it was radio silence for a month, outside of a few drunk I miss you texts while I couch hopped. The last time I went over to grab clothes, she kissed me and talked about how she wished things could be different, reminiscing about the proposal and all the little things we'd done together. I tried to talk things out again, but she got super angry and kicked me out. Now she's telling me I need to pay half the rent because I'm still on the lease. I spoke to the landlord about removing me from it, but he said she has to agree, and she's refusing. She also refuses to sign the lease over to someone else. What can I even do here? My brother pointed out that since I'm on the lease, she can't legally keep me from staying there, but the apartment is small, and with her behavior, I can't see how that would work. She's refusing to be civil. I asked her to reconsider finding a new tenant, and she basically said she doesn't see why she should have to move just because I couldn't change. My brother said I could make a case for abuse to get off the lease, but I don't want to do that to her. She can be mean, but she's a nice person, and we've been together for 6 years. I just feel like that's a step too far. My mother agrees. I honestly don't think this is abuse. Is this abuse? They're really pushing me to go forward with this, especially after my brother reads some of the texts, but I feel like if I end the tenancy citing abuse, it's dishonest and could further upset her. Update 1. Things have snowballed. A day or so after my first post, my brother sat me down and helped me come up with a game plan. The first thing he told me to do was take the money I had in the joint account meant for our wedding since she still had access to it. She was already pretty angry with me, I didn't know why at the time, turns out later it was because she cheated. I'd been saving for over a year, sometimes putting in as much as $600 a month, plus my Christmas bonus. I'm not sure what I expected after withdrawing the money, but things escalated fast. I had screenshots of how out of control her texts got, but I couldn't attach them here. She was furious that I emptied the account, leaving only what she contributed. She'd only put in a couple thousand because early on in wedding planning, she decided I should pay for most of it. Looking back, I can't believe I agreed. Her argument now was that I should have kept all the money in there to pay my portion of the rent and that I'd stolen from her. Even after I showed her bank transfers proving I only took what I'd put in, she just got more upset, especially since I refused to speak to her in person or on the phone so I'd have everything documented in text. Then her dad called, telling me to do the right thing, which basically meant giving her all the money I'd saved since it was for her anyway. When I refused, she started calling my mother nonstop, starting around 9 p.m. and sometimes not stopping until 1 a.m. At first, I told my mom to block her, but my brother said to just silence her calls so we'd have a record. One night, she called my mom 36 times. My mom's been having health issues since my father passed in June, and my sister, who's living with her, got very upset over the constant calls. Eventually, my sister filed a harassment report with the police, hoping it might help me get off the lease if we could prove she was being abusive. She also called both my ex and her father, telling them if they had anything to say, it would go through her. I filled out an N-15 form, but the officer I spoke to didn't seem convinced it would be approved because he didn't classify this as domestic abuse. I guess I'll just have to cross my fingers and hope for the best. All this has definitely shown me who she really is. I didn't think I could fall out of love with someone so quickly. Final update, I tried to post this a week ago, but it didn't go through. Hopefully, it works this time. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who messaged me with advice and resources. It made a huge difference. Once I was out, the pattern of abuse became more obvious. The emotional roller coaster she always had me on was one I didn't realize I was riding until I finally got off. I went into the apartment with my sister, 36F, while my ex, 28F, was at work to clear out my things. I was originally going to go with my brother, 34M, but since my ex had made threats during her calls to my mom, my sister wanted to come instead, just in case things got physical. The police didn't seem interested in accompanying us. We cleared out most of my stuff, but she came home early, because, of course, that's my luck. She started yelling, which we ignored, but my sister ended up talking to her because a bunch of my belongings were missing. I didn't care much at that point, but my sister was upset about the missing PS5. She told my ex she wasn't leaving without it. Tensions were high, and when my sister kept pressing, my ex picked up a picture frame and threw it at me for bringing her here. That's when everything boiled over. My sister got between us, and when my ex slapped her, a fight broke out. The police arrived, and my sister filed another report. My ex then surrendered the PS5 and admitted she'd thrown some of my things away. Because of all this, the landlord got involved, and I've officially been taken off the lease. A few days later, her mother called me, asking me to reconsider the reports because she was worried the charges would follow my ex and it wasn't fair after I supposedly called off the wedding and abandoned her. I told her to talk to her daughter about the lies and the harassment before hanging up. I don't know what came from that conversation, but her mother did send flowers to mine, so I'm guessing at least some truth came out. Anyway, I'm hoping to put all this behind me now. With the apartment mess finally over, I'm going to grief counseling with my family and working on starting over.